After being destroyed by Deebo Samuel this past season, Howie Roseman decided to try and draft the next Deebo Samuel and Aggie wide receiver Aninas Smith. But can the young speedster live up to big expectations in the Eagles offense? Also, Jalyx Hunt reveals who he's asking the most questions to on the Eagles defensive line, and James Bradberry, he might be gone sooner rather than later. I'm Thomas Mott, this is the Thomas Mott Show. I think Jalyx Hunt is easily the biggest unknown of the Eagles' 8 draft picks heading into 2024. Like Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, they're both first-round projected picks, and Will Shipley, of course, scored a ton at Clemson, and then there's Johnny Wilson and Aninas Smith, who are wide receivers, which normally translate at least semi-well early on in their rookie careers. Throw in Keegan, McMahon, Jeff Stoutland to teach him, and overall, Hunt is the one player that I still have a lot of questions about. For instance, he played at Houston Christian, like he flashed there but didn't dominate, and then had a solid Senior Bowl. And it was that Senior Bowl performance that really made Eagles GM Howie Roseman decide that Hunt was worthy of a third-round draft pick. And really, being drafted in the 3rd round really puts a ton of pressure on the young pass rusher, which, although, is why I do love the fact that Hunt has been trying to ask as many questions as possible to 15-year vet Brandon Graham over the past couple of days.
Met him yet, don't heard his name. Got a couple people in that room that I'm just ready to ask questions until they tell me to shut up. So, yeah, from him, anything he's willing to teach me, I'm willing to learn. And then, to go 15 years in the league is no small feat. So even things outside of football, just how he carries himself as a person, and then what he does off the field to make sure that he's ready to play on the field for 15 years are things I would like to learn from him as well.
He's also been attacking the playbook after begging Coach Sirianni on the phone during his draft phone call to get him a playbook as quickly as possible after he was drafted.
The playbook, yeah, Coach is making it pretty simple for us. Coach Wash, he's really breaking it down, giving us the opportunity to learn it so that we can execute it at a high level. But in terms of everything, everything's new. So all of the faces being up in front of a microphone is new to me, but it's not overwhelming, more exciting. But yeah, in terms of the playbook, it's pretty simple so far, thanks to Coach.
Now, these are good signs. It doesn't take away my fear of him being drafted a little bit too high. I think my idea is that a third-round draft pick should contribute a lot sooner rather than later, like Milton Williams, for instance, whereas I think Hunt is going to be more of a 2 or 3 year project just because he's so raw and has such great raw talent. But again, you got to turn that raw talent into being a prolific pass rusher. Either way, it looks like the first couple of days, Hunt at least has enjoying his time in Philadelphia, and the Eagle players themselves seem to like what they've seen so far. Now, the one rookie who wasn't actually on the field during minicamp this past weekend was Aggie wide receiver Aninas Smith, who, according to NJ.com, stood on the sideline during Friday's rookie minicamp practice while most of the receivers were running routes and taking in instructions and details mentioned by wide receiver coach Aaron Moorhead. Smith was listening off to the side, limited in being a spectator because he was recovering from an injury discovered during the combine process. Now, despite being injured, Smith was reportedly a player that head coach Nick Sirianni himself scouted and really loved during his film study, something the head coach explained during a press conference late last week.
His ability to run after the catch, his ability to, get in and out of breaks. I think, he's extremely tough. I love that about him. That's really what sticks out. He catches the ball really well. And so those are the things that, that really stick out, and it's going to be fun to see how we can get him the football and different ways that he can contribute, both on special teams and on offense.
Now, NG.com pointed out that Philadelphia likely drafted Smith to be a kick returner, of course, due to the NFL's new kickoff rules, although Smith quickly shut down the idea of that during his, of course, post-draft press conference.
Yeah, man. I did a little bit of studying for sure, and I also took my time to go ahead and go back and watch film on the XFL and how they used to do things and whatnot. Really, honestly, it's just all about the setup. I feel like when it comes to returns like that, it's not going to be a full speed. They're going to be running full speed, but they're not going to have as much field to cover as they used to. So I'll say it's really just all about the setup, about how you set up your block, set up your return and whatnot, and just taking it to the crib.
And I tend to agree. I see a lot more than just a kick returner or a punt returner when you turn on the actual Aggie film from the past couple of seasons. Is he a superstar in the making? I'm not quite sure, but does he have the potential to be a Swiss Army knife for the Philadelphia Eagles? I'm starting to think so. And NJ.com went as far as to point out the fact that offensive coordinator Kellen Moore could slowly integrate Smith into the offense, putting him in specific packages that could utilize his speed and agility. He's starting the slot, be used on jet sweeps, or be put in the backfield with running back Saquon Barkley, going in motion late in the snap count, creating an advantageous matchup, potentially as a safety or linebacker if the defense scrambles to get their coverage assignments. Now, there are very few wide receivers that are able to do what NJ.com basically just described, like a versatile, do-it-all receiver who can go inside, outside, run the ball to the backfield, and, of course, return kicks. In fact, Deebo Samuel might be the best of the NFL lot that fits this mold, and would it shock anyone if the Birds wanted to try and duplicate number 19 success with the 49ers, except for here in Philadelphia? Like, think about it. The Eagles already made one offseason move that was very San Francisco-like and giving a bunch of money to a running back, and Saquon Barkley. Why wouldn't the Birds want a weapon similar to Deebo Samuel, who, yes, over the course of his career, especially this past season, helped tear the Eagles apart in their only meeting in 2023? I mean, the beauty of Smith being this offense is that there's zero pressure to produce right away. You have Devontae Smith, you have A.J. Brown, you also have some savvy veterans, some other rookies to go ahead alongside him. The Aggie receiver can come in once he's healthy and try instead to not only outplay his draft spot by focusing in on being the best kick returner and gadget player he can to expose matchups that defenses are inevitably going to be struggling to fight against when they go against Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith. Now, does that mean he instantly becomes Deebo Samuel? No, but Deebo Samuel wasn't Deebo Samuel right away. It took a little bit of time. I'm very curious to see what he's going to look like in training camp against the Eagles' revamped secondary and how he compares to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith in terms of speed and versatility and also agility, because that's the big selling point here for Aninas Smith. Do you guys think he's going to be maybe that gadget play for Philadelphia? Let me know down below. Now, speaking of NJ.com articles, Bob Brookover wrote yesterday that the Eagles should not be quick to discard James Bradberry, and kind of a lengthy piece focusing on the fact that he only had one bad season this past year in 2023. And while sure, I get that last year was a bad year, and maybe he could bounce back, the Eagles just drafted Quinyon Mitchell in the first round. That instantly, to me, means Bradberry's days in Philadelphia should be a lot shorter. And I know getting rid of him creates a little bit of cap drama. I think a post-June 1st cut is like $8 to $10 million against the cap, but the Eagles have that available right now and should not let that be a hindrance in them getting rid of Bradberry. We got to realize that Mitchell is plug and play ready, and I know we've only seen, a couple of minutes of actual practice footage you're seeing on your screen right now, but I'm very confident that he could start day one opposite of Darius Slay and be very effective. There's really no reason to sit him and let him slowly come along. He needs to be a day one starter and, of course, start getting reps now. That way he can be even better later on in his career. Plus, the Eagles have Isaiah Rodgers and Keely Ringo and a bunch of other backups who, in case anything were to go wrong, could fill right in if Mitchell suddenly wasn't ready, which, again, I'd be very surprised if he wasn't. Oh, and don't forget Cooper DeJean, who multiple beat writers said looked even better than Mitchell during some of the drills over this past weekend. I mean, the Eagles are loaded at cornerback right now, and playing a guy in Bradberry who really only has 1 year truly left on his contract in Philadelphia just because he's a little bit older and more experienced, I just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, just yesterday, Philadelphia signed another cornerback and the cousin of Joey Porter Jr., Sean Stevens. And Stevens, one of those D2 guys who flashed a lot in D2, but of course we have no idea if he's actually good or not, and doesn't necessarily guarantee that he's going to be a starting cornerback, but still, they are absolutely loaded at cornerback right now. Why do you need to keep James Bradberry in the end? Cut him, trade him for absolutely nothing, and get Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean in this defense playing under Vic Fangio. That way they can not only contribute this season, but be savvy veterans in year 2 or 3 versus having to sit basically their entire rookie year. What do you guys think? Would you trade James Bradberry? Would you just cut him after June 1st? Let me know your thoughts on this argument right now down below in the comments section. Now, you might be watching this video and saying, Thomas, shouldn't you be headed to the airport to go to your honeymoon? The answer is yes, I'm already on a plane right now. This was recorded just before I left early here on a Tuesday morning. So, of course, we're going to have a few more videos probably sprinkled throughout the week. We'll see how it goes. Going to focus on the honeymoon, though. But I appreciate you guys watching. I'm Thomas Mott. This has been The Thomas Mott Show.